How you guys doing? Good, all right, awesome. You're still awake, all right. This session is called How Fast Can I Talk? Because I'm going to be talking really, really fast, especially once I get into the demo part. But it really is called building Node.js powered mobile apps with Red Hat Mobile. But I want to start off with a simple question. How many of you know Red Hat? All right, use Red Hat? A few of you, okay, cool. When you think of Red Hat, what do you think of? Those of you especially that use us, what do you think of? Linux, right? Yeah. What else? Anything else? Anybody use OpenShift? No? Few people, all right. How many of you associate it with mobile? Even I didn't. When Red Hat contacted me and said, hey, we'd like you to come over to Red Hat and talk about Red Hat Mobile, I said, Red Hat Mobile? Like, you guys are doing an operating system? Like, no. So it was really surprising for me that there was a Red Hat Mobile. So I had to ask, what exactly is Red Hat Mobile? Well, Red Hat Mobile is an application platform that allows us to build mobile applications, developing in a very collaborative manner, as you're going to see when I'm demoing, and talking to some back-end services as well, back-end integrations. Now, originally, Red Hat Mobile was a company out of Ireland called Feed Henry, and Feed Henry was acquired by Red Hat last year, and we've slowly been integrating Feed Henry into the Red Hat family. And we will also, in good Red Hat tradition, be open sourcing Feed Henry. So Feed Henry will live on as the open source version of the mobile development platform, and Red Hat Mobile is the commercial offering that you can even install on premises. So I know you got one other question, and that is, this is a Node conference. Why am I talking about mobile in a Node conference? Any ideas? None? Seriously? Nobody doing mobile development? Well, here's the answer. The reason I'm talking about mobile in a Node conference is because, number one, the entire Red Hat mobile application platform is built on Node. Woo. Thanks for coming. No. And also, we can build Node applications on top of the Red Hat mobile application platform. Now, of course, really, the platform itself is broken down into multiple parts. And when we talk about building a mobile application, there's actually three things that we think about in the platform. The first is that client side. That's actually the mobile app that we're building. I'll talk more about that a little bit later. On the right-hand side is the MBAS, or backend as a service. So these are our data stores and connectors to backend systems. But there in the middle is that Node tab. That Node tab represents our Node applications that we are going to build for our mobile applications. Now, why do we want to do that? Why do we want to build these Node applications for our mobile applications? Well, all the reasons that we love Node. You know, it's small, lightweight, that's great. And especially when we're talking about mobile, because one of the biggest problems, anybody ever pulled your phone out halfway through the day and your battery's almost dead? You're going like, what in the heck was happening, right? It was trying that network connectivity. It was trying to grab a signal the whole time, right? And mobile apps, that's what happens too with them. And when we do a mobile app, the network connectivity, when we're making a request out to the cloud somewhere, that is one of the biggest things that will burn up a battery. So we have to be very conscious about what data we are requesting, how many requests we're making, and what the data and the requests are, or the responses are coming back. And that's where Node is just wickedly cool. So if when you get out of the session there today, or if you get home, you want to try out some of the stuff that I've shown you today, you can simply go to openshift.feedhenry.com, sign up for an account, and we will spin up an account for you. So that, my friends, was my marketing spiel. Now I'm going to put on my developer hat, and we're going to dive in and actually do some development. So I've logged myself into my account here on Feed Henry, and I'm going to just point out a couple of things on the application platform. There is a great getting started section, so we'll tell you all about the things that you want to know in terms of just familiarizing yourself with the platform. There's other things that I'm not going to be able to touch on today because I just simply don't have time in 20 minutes. Things like reporting and analytics, also the administration module. One of the key things about that administration module is we can even lock developers in or out of access to certain services and things, even down to the fact of saying, hey, one developer may only be able to consume the service but not actually modify the service, okay? So really great areas in there to look at, but I'm going to concentrate today on my projects, because that's where all things start. Now, I have several projects that I've already created, but I'm going to step you through over the next, I got 14 minutes. I'm going to build a mobile app in 14 minutes that's going to actually call out to the web, out to the cloud, and hopefully bring back some data. So I'm going to start with a new project. Now, when we start with a new project, you'll see that we have all sorts of templates here to get you started. Literally, we are completely and utterly agnostic when it comes to the tooling that you're going to use to build your mobile application. So if you want to build natively, that's fine. If you want to build a hybrid app, that's fine as well. We simply do not care. In fact, if you don't even want to build a mobile app and you're only looking to build maybe even just a web app, you can do that here on the platform as well. So I'm going to choose this first bare project, and I'm just going to call this Portland as my project. And this is going to create that project for me and launch me into the project window. Now, in the project window, there's those three panes that we saw before. There's my apps, my cloud code apps, and my MBAS services. I'm already being told that I do not have a cloud app, so let's go ahead and create one. Now, once again, I'm going to be asked a question, and that is a very simple question. This is a Node app. Do I want a clustered Node app, or do I want a single one? For my purpose today, I'll just do a single one, and this is my Node, is what I'm going to call that. And we will then create it. Now, this is just creating a very simple Hello World app for us, and is going to launch us there into the app itself. Now, I can go ahead and start the app, and once I've started the app, you'll notice that we've got some things over here on the left-hand side, one of which is my editor. Now, my editor allows me to actually do exactly that, go in and edit code. So this is a live in-browser text editor that we can actually work on. And we do have a little hello.js file that this is actually using. So once my app has started here, I would be able to go back and use that app, and it is running now. And so I'm going to go ahead and just grab this app just to show you that it is in fact running. There is the link to it. And in fact, if I do an endpoint of /hello, we'll notice that there is a response coming back. So my app is live. I wrote a Node app in no seconds. That's pretty cool. All right, now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move back over there to that section that we were looking at before. Go ahead and close this, hopefully. And I'm going to go to my app section, and I'm going to add in an app. This is my mobile app that I'm about to create. So again, I've got those templates that I'm free to use, all of these various ones. I'm just going to grab a simple hybrid app here for you, and we will just call this my mobile. There we go. And we will create that, and I do not know why that does not go away, but anyway, hopefully it will. There we go. So now I have my app, and again, I have my editor, so I can go in and begin editing this app as well. But you'll notice over here on the right-hand side, because this is a hybrid app, we're actually seeing the app already previewing in a mobile device. In fact, not only previewing, it actually works over here. So if I want to say hello to myself, I can do that. All right. Now, so far, I've got a mobile app. I've got a service, a Node app that I'm going to be calling to. And then I need one last thing, and that is that third container. That third container over here, that is my MBAS services. Now, when we talk about those MBAS services, I'm going to say I want to go add a service. Now, I already have some services defined, but services for us are all those things, as I mentioned, like data stores. We have a built-in Mongo database that you can use right here within the system, but also connectors for other things. So, for example, if you've got legacy systems like your Oracle database, if you've got a Salesforce account, or all of those kind of things, you can hook those up very, very simply as well. But as I said, I've already connected some, so I'm going to go back to my project here. And what did I call my project? Portland, there it is. And I'm going to just add those services that I'm going to use here. I'm going to say we're going to do restaurants, reviews, and weather. and I'm just going to associate these services. Now, little white lie I just told you. I told you that these are back-end services. Well, actually, these are Node applications as well. So in fact, this reviews, here we'll go take a look at the reviews service, and as I go into the reviews service, we can actually go into the editor, and once again, we'll see that this is simply calling out to a MySQL database, and it is again nothing but Node right here. So having done this, now I'm going to go back again to that project, and in fact, I want to show you one other thing. You can even discover the services that are available here, because as you are writing your code, I know each and every one of you is going to be a good developer, and you're actually going to write documentation too. Right? Never going to have it. Actually, you can. By simply writing your README file, we are using the API blueprint specification, and you can actually generate your API documentation here. And I can even try it out here live. So if I wanted to get the reviews for a restaurant with an ID of 4, I could simply submit that, and I'm getting that review back. So I can see that that service is in fact up and running and working, ready to be wired up into my application. So now let's talk about how we really develop. I saw that in-browser editor, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll never use it, though. Because what do? I develop locally most of the time. So let's go ahead and just copy the Git URL here for our app here. And I'm going to go out here, and first I'm going to go run out here onto my hard drive. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it Portland, so I can remember where I am. Portland, there we go. And then I'm going to just cd into Portland. And I'm going to do a git clone of that URL. And I'm going to begin downloading that project. So that is my mobile project. I'll go back over here to my Node app. I'm going to copy that, run back over into my thing again. I'm going to do the same thing again, git clone. And we're going to clone that Node app. Now, once I've done that, of course, I actually have that locally here on my machine. You can see that I do have a Node app, and it looks just like the Node app that we were looking at earlier. Now, to save time, I'm actually going to do a little bit of copying and pasting, because of course I can't really live code in only 20 minutes. So I'm just going to take a couple of files here. And these files, I'm just going to grab these and copy them over here into my Node app. And now these are again, just simple call outs. So there you can see in Sublime, I'm just making a simple request call out to a data source at my API. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to add that to my application.js file. So I'm just going to do that very quickly. And we'll just come down here, and we will say copy, paste, and the first one I'm going to route over to restaurants.js, and the next one I'm going to route that one over to reviews, and there we go. I'll save that. Now, this app I happen to know also uses Async, so I need to install the Async library, so I'll do that real quick. So we'll cd into, what did I call this, that file? My node. All right, so Portland my node. So I'll cd into Portland and my node, and there we go. And I'll do an npm install, and it's async that I'm installing, -- save, and there we go. So now I have done everything that I need to do for that particular app. So now I need to push that back up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say git and add, and then git commit -m my files, and then go ahead and git push. And up that goes. So now if I go back over here, once that has uploaded, we can go back into my Node app, and we're going to go back over here into my editor, and we can actually see in the editor, yes, in fact, those files have been added. And now all I need to do is to simply go and tell the platform, I would like to go ahead and deploy that new version of the app. And so it's begun its deployment. And in just a moment, it will complete, and that app is now running. So you can see down there at the bottom, I have a nice history of everything that is happening there as well. So as I'm working with teammates, we can see who's doing the deployments on the individual apps. Now, I'm going to save some more time, again, just by copying a little bit more. So this app, I said, was a hybrid mobile app. So I'm just going to take that whole www folder that I've got right there, and I'm just going to replace the one that I have here. And now, once again, just like that, I'll do the backup. I'll do CD Portland, and then it was my, what was that, my app, is that what I called it? My mobile, all right, my mobile. And then once again, we'll do the exact same thing. I'm gonna say git add, and then this, of course, as you can see, has a lot of files that I'm gonna be adding. And I'm just gonna say git commit files and git push. And up it goes. And in just a moment, the moment of real truth. So I'm going to go back out here to my services, go back to my mobile client, and again, go back to my editor for a second so you can see in my www folder here. As we start looking at that, we see an app actually loading over there. And if all has gone well, I've actually made a call to the Node app running in the middle, which is in turn called out to those backend services, retrieve data, like in this particular case, it's got a restaurant listings around us. It's actually, in case anybody's wondering, it's 62 degrees outside right now and drizzling, it looks like. I'm not sure what that icon is at the bottom, but that was coming from the weather service. And then if I click on any of these restaurants, we'll go in and see that we actually have some review data coming back as well. So I now have a mobile app created, but of course is only running in my browser right now. So how do I actually move that or turn that into a real app? Well, of course, it would be just as simple as going to that build button right here. So we actually have a build farm as part of the platform as well. And so I can build whichever one I want. Which one do you guys want? Android, iPhone? Windows Phone. I wish one of my Microsoft friends was sitting here. And anyway, all right. If I want to do, let's go ahead and do a iPhone. So I'm going to go ahead and specify that I'm going to use my testing certificate. I'm going to pass in my password, and I'm just going to say, go ahead and build that. Now, as we are building, once again, down at the bottom, you'll see that we are going to maintain that history as well, so that you know who has actually built things previously. Now, this does take a few seconds because we are actually uploading all those files to the build farm. But one thing is really, really cool. How many of you don't run on a Mac? How many of you run on some other platform other than a Mac? All right? You know that you cannot build an iPhone app, right? An iOS app, because you do not have a Mac. And that's not our fault. That's Steve declared that, right? So what are you going to do? Well, actually, any of your developers, they can actually be coding away in Xcode. They're going to upload to the platform, and at any time that you want to get it onto your iPhone, even though if you have an iPhone, all you have to do is simply say, hey, I want that iPhone version. Here is the QR code, and if your phone was provisioned right now, you could simply scan the QR code right now, and that would actually download and install onto my device. And I do have the thing running on my device, so if anyone wants to see this app that we built, I'll be happy to show it. And with that, oh my gosh, I have 1 minute and 52 seconds to take questions. Yes?
Using Apache Cordova then?
That particular app was Cordova, but again, we don't care. If you want to build natively or you want to use some other framework, you want to use Accelerator, we don't care. We are absolutely agnostic.
Work with Ionic framework?
We certainly do. In fact, that is an Ionic app. Yep. Any other questions? Yes?
Do you have any sort of provisions for offline mode?
For offline mode, we even have data sync. Yes. Ooh, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. In fact, if you look at those projects, if I go back to the projects and I say a new project, one of the projects here is, there you go, the Sync Framework project. So that'll show you how to get started with syncing your data.
Cool, thanks.
Yep, absolutely. Any other question?
React.js?
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, we're completely agnostic. We don't care. Absolutely do not care. I'm in the middle of building a React Native app right now. Yep, exactly. Yes. Yes, so the Feed Henry platform will be open sourced. We will continue to have the Red Hat mobile application platform as the commercial offering that offers support and all of those kind of things that you're used to from Red Hat. So absolutely. And so that means you know what that means when we open source it? It means you have to contribute. You have to fix your own bugs. Right? All right. Any other questions? If not, thank you guys for coming, and I will be around, so if you want to ask any more questions, please feel free to do so.